I didn't know how to feel about this update. Every time we jump to a new area or there's a huge shift in a patch, it feels like we completely changed the theme of the game. But there are some undeniable core things about this update, like for instance the bug and the optimization is at an all-time low.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man? Get your ass on, man. Get your goddamn ugly ass on.
Like, I don't really even need to speak on it. I could just show you some footage. Like, I don't think anybody can argue for this. And Curl Games, if you're randomly listening to this, bruh, nuke the damn bike. You can still sell wing skins. You know how fly some wing skins would look with some trails at the end of it? You can make some zesty butterfly looking like glowing wings. You could do whatever you want. I promise you, people will buy it just because you gave us the ability to fly again. But moving on. So, other than the nitpicking on the technical side, I am enjoying the update. I think the elephant in the room is the story. Now, a lot of people hate this story. A lot of people think it's the greatest thing ever. Personally, I was very confused with the storytelling because for me, it felt a lot like 1.0 with the extremely long exposition dumps and the slow pacing. In my eyes, it almost felt like cut content from 1.0. To me, the story felt like the storytelling of a 1.0 story with the story presentation of more of a 3.0 story. Like, I really appreciate the camera angles, the cinematography, the choreography was on point. I won't lie. How they animate the 3D character models. Compared to 1.0, it feels like they've gotten way better at actually making the characters feel like real people and the situations feeling important or having weight. This game takes itself seriously and at times you feel like you're watching a movie. But other times I was almost baffled at how regressive some of the storytelling felt in this update. It felt like I was stepping back into Wuthering Waves 1.0 at times. Like a lot of the complaints I had with this story were the exact same complaints I had with 1.0. For me, it's the awkward exposition dumps, and I'm sorry guys, I have the Westerner debuff of not understanding Chinese, so it felt like things or situations were over-explained or over-emphasized at times, and a lot of characters straight up just showing up for fan service or advertising for the new banner. I don't know if I can explain this well enough, but to me, a lot of the lore drops and exposition feels forced and dragged out, like as if most human beings just don't communicate this way. You don't see somebody and start spewing off 20 minutes of lore. I feel like they need to weave these things into the conversation more subtly, you know, cut off, you know, maybe half or a third of things that we already understand, which is so weird because we've been playing this game from 1.0 to 3. Whatever. I feel like they learned this lesson already. I feel like other stories felt way less exposition heavy as the game progressed, and now we're here and now we're doing it again. I don't understand. There's a lot of repetition or repeating of the same concepts. I generally don't think they trust the viewer to pick up on subtext or sub-cues or more abstract ways to communicate lore because they just dump it on you and it's boring. Quite frankly, it'll put people to sleep. I've seen people talking about how the first half will put them of this story put them to sleep. I fell asleep like 3 times, and when even your hardcore fans are nodding off, I feel like you need to pick up the pace. You need to figure out the storytelling. But for me, whenever I felt overwhelmed or I felt the story was dragging, I would just put it down and start exploring. But I think my main problem with a lot of the exposition is it feels a bit inhuman, like just dropping lore for 20 minutes. They need to weave it better into the conversation for me to be more invested. I can't just go to this village with Yang Yang and be yapping for 45 minutes with strangers I don't even know about history. Like it just felt so awkward. The context of the situation, sometimes the characters, it doesn't make sense how they're acting. Like a certain character is missing and we're sitting just shooting the crap, just talking with each other instead of organizing a search patrol. And I promise you guys, it's not the slow pacing. I don't have TikTok brain. I don't even use that app. Whenever I found myself dozing off or getting frustrated with the pacing of the story, I would stop playing the story and go explore and do other things. And maybe the next day I'd come back and do the story. Trust me, I didn't binge the story. When I got back to the story, I really felt more immersed and intrigued with the characters. But at the same time, I never felt that I had to do this for or other stories quite as much. The hype moments are hype. It's just genuinely, I think this story would do wonders of just trimming some of the fat, trusting their players to not need 45 minutes of dialogue and context about a village to feel bad for it. And I could go into more detail. I'll do more of a story review and talk about how the story could have been touched up, because I do think the story was good, but I'm being purposely vague. I'm gonna have a full story review in another video. This is mostly an overall review of the update. And as a lot of people said, the story does come into its stride more and more as the story progresses, and it does get better. But you know, for the most part, everything I said is still there. And when it came to mini games and events, listen, I'm gonna sound a little biased here because I am a combat Andy. I'm all about combat. I'm happy that there's a wide variety of things to do in the game, including combat. But some of these mini games, let's just say it reminds me that I'm playing a mobile game. I don't know, maybe it's a subjective opinion, but I liked the mini games in Le Heroic. They weren't invasive is the word I'm looking for. They didn't get in the way of my good time. A lot of it was like bike racing or stuff that really felt like it belonged in the world, and some of this stuff just kind of takes me out of it. Like, why am I playing ancient gachapon, you know? But at least there's combat events, so I'm not complaining. I'm good. I know it sounds like I am a Hoyo shill and I hate everything, but it's another banger update for the most part. Just a lot of minor hiccup that I think we should acknowledge if we want this game to stay as good as it is. I think it's gonna take a while to get used to this new area. If you're not having a good time with the game, put it down, let Crow kind of buff their optimization and come back when you're ready again, just like I did with this story, because you'll probably have a better time if you take it easy with this patch, if you go slow rather than, you know, grinding it super crazy like you usually would the other patches. It's just not a patch built like that. This patch definitely should take your time with, because it's not perfect. It's definitely good. The core gameplay and story is there. I just think it's a little rough around the edges. Maybe they needed some more time to cook, but they're on this gacha schedule, so they released it a little rough and janky. That's my opinion on this update. It's still good. It's just a rough. Also, bro, nuke the damn bike. I think we're all sick of this bike. Can we all agree that the wings were better? Imagine flying around in this area. It would be a 180 for exploration. It would be like 2.0 all over again. I'm dead ass. I feel like it's that much of an effect that it would have on this region. I mean, it would just be so fun. This bike, it's just janky and it just feels goofy. What are we even doing? That's just me. Just nuke the bike.